California's natural disasters aren't just shaping headlines. They're reshaping entire housing markets. Families see the fire maps and flood warnings. But what often gets overlooked is how these risks ripple into prices, insurance, and long-term affordability.
In cities once priced out of reach, disaster risk has opened the door, with discounts of 20, 30, even 40% compared to peak years. But those lower entry prices come with trade-offs: higher insurance premiums, stricter building codes, and the constant need for preparation.
But here is the balanced reality. For families and first-time buyers, these markets can either be financial traps or smart entry points, depending on how well you understand the numbers behind the risk.
So in this video, we present 10 California cities where disaster risk is directly influencing the housing market in 2025. Is your city on the list? What would it mean if the place you live or hope to buy into made the cut? Are you paying more in premiums than you realize or missing out on opportunities others are too afraid to see? Ready? Let's dive in. 10. Santa Rosa. Santa Rosa's rolling wine country hills still attract families looking for charm and Bay Area access. But the fire headlines have changed how buyers think and how sellers price. The Tubbs fire in 2017 and subsequent wildfires wiped out entire neighborhoods. That history left a permanent mark on buyer psychology. Median home prices peaked at $725,000 in 2022, but today hover closer to $580,000. For families once priced out, that's a $145,000 difference. But it comes with new realities.
Insurance availability is tighter. Standard policies often don't fully cover rebuild costs, and many families are pushed toward the California Fair Plan, which can be significantly more expensive. At the same time, the city has invested over $80 million in fire detection and evacuation infrastructure, and new homes meet stricter fire-resistant codes.
For buyers, the calculation is this. Santa Rosa offers lifestyle value at reduced prices, but only if you budget realistically for insurance and preparation.
9. Stockton. Stockton's riverfront marinas and Delta lifestyle can look like hidden gems compared to Bay Area prices. But the ground beneath them tells a different story. Loose Delta soil makes the region highly vulnerable to liquefaction during major earthquakes.
That risk hasn't stopped families from moving in, but it has shaped the market. While waterfront homes in nearby Benicia or Antioch average $625,000 to $785,000, Stockton sell closer to $420,000. The discount is clear, but so is the trade-off.
Earthquake insurance here averages over $3,000 per year, if you can find it. Some carriers have stopped writing new policies altogether. Retrofitting older homes can reduce vulnerability, but costs add up quickly, and not every property qualifies. The key for buyers is recognizing Stockton's affordability comes with a preparedness premium. Families who plan ahead can still access waterfront living at a fraction of Bay Area pricing. But ignoring the risk means carrying financial exposure most households aren't prepared for.
8. Fresno.
Fresno markets itself as California's affordable center, and on paper it is. Median home prices around $385,000 give families far more space than coastal cities. But affordability comes with a climate caveat: extreme heat. Fresno regularly now matches or surpasses Phoenix in summer highs, with multiple days over 115 degrees Fahrenheit. The difference? Phoenix has decades of desert-ready infrastructure, while much of Fresno's housing stock was built in the 1970s and 80s. Homes with poor insulation and AC systems not designed for week-long heat domes.
This impacts both families and finances. A household earning $65,000 may see summer electricity bills topping $450 a month, nearly 10% of income. Emergency rooms report spikes in heat exhaustion cases and cooling upgrades, reflective roofs, insulation retrofits, energy-efficient AC can cost tens of thousands.
Still, Fresno is attracting families priced out of the coast. Tech companies and logistics hubs are expanding here, and adaptation efforts are underway. Urban canopy programs, cooling centers, and incentives for home retrofits. For buyers, Fresno offers affordability with a warning: budget for climate adaptation, or risk that affordable quickly turns into a survival expense. 7. Vallejo. Vallejo sits at the northern edge of the bay, with Victorian homes and water views that once priced closer to Oakland. But its position also places it at the intersection of three risks: wildfire, earthquake, and sea level rise.
These risks shape how buyers and insurers behave. A Bayview home here sells around $525,000, while comparable homes in Berkeley or Oakland cost nearly $900,000. The discount is clear, but so are the added costs. Families can face combined disaster insurance bills of $8,000 plus dollars per year, and coverage limits are shrinking as carriers reduce exposure.
The trade-off is real, but not one-sided. Families who prepare through seismic retrofits, fire-defensible landscaping, and flood protections can reduce total risk while accessing Bay Area jobs and schools at a lower entry price. Commuters also value Vallejo's ferry link to San Francisco, something few affordable Bay cities can offer.
For buyers, Vallejo is a market where preparation determines success. Without it, families risk being caught in compound disasters. With it, they access Bay Area lifestyle at a fraction of the traditional cost.
6. Riverside.
Riverside offers families space and affordability that's scarce in Southern California. Median home prices near $485,000 by over 2,000 square feet. Far more than Los Angeles, where similar homes run closer to $750,000. But its location in a designated very high fire hazard severity zone changes how the market works. Families like Nurse Maria Gonzalez's illustrate the challenge. Her subdivision has seen multiple evacuations in recent years, and her insurance costs tripled before her carrier dropped coverage. The state's FAIR plan now costs nearly $10,000 annually, with a steep deductible. For many households, that expense can rival a second mortgage.
Yet, Riverside also has strengths that continue to attract buyers. Job growth in healthcare, logistics, and education has been robust, with Amazon and UC Riverside expanding operations. The county is investing $2.4 billion in new commuter rail lines and highways, making access to LA and Orange County easier by 2027.
The reality is mixed. Riverside offers affordability and economic momentum, but families need to factor fire risk into long-term budgets. Those who plan ahead with defensible space, fire-resistant construction, and proper insurance can still find value in a region many are avoiding. 5. Paradise. Paradise remains one of California's most sobering wildfire stories. The 2018 Camp Fire destroyed 14,000 homes and reduced the population from 27,000 to fewer than 5,000. 7 years later, the scars are still visible: empty lots, scattered rebuilds, and a community still defining its future. But the rebuild has also created unusual market conditions. New construction here follows the state's strictest fire-resistant standards: Class A roofing, ember-resistant vents, sprinkler systems, features often absent in safer markets. Homes built to code now sell in the $425,000 to $485,000 range, effectively offering modern, resilient construction at what would be 1980s adjusted prices. Growth signals are slowly reappearing, school enrollments are ticking upward, business licenses are being issued again, and population is rising from its post-fire low. Families who move here often describe a sense of shared purpose, shaping schools, town planning, and community identity during recovery. Still, challenges remain. Insurance costs are high, many neighborhoods remain uninhabited, and the risk of future fire is never gone. Prepared families, Paradise represents both caution and possibility,
a market where resilience is priced into every property and where early movers gain influence and equity in a town rebuilding from the ground up.
4. Reading. Reading is surrounded by lakes, trails, and mountain scenery. Exactly the kind of lifestyle many families dream of. But the Carr Fire in 2018 changed how the market views this Northern California town.
That fire created a fire tornado with winds over 160 miles per hour that jumped the Sacramento River and destroyed entire neighborhoods. The disaster forced buyers and insurers alike to rethink what risk means here. The immediate impact? Median home values stalled while other Northern California markets surged. Today, homes average around $365,000, 30 to 40% less than comparable mountain lifestyle towns. That affordability attracts families, but buyers often require $35,000 to $50,000 in fire retrofits, roofing, vents, defensible space, to secure insurance or peace of mind. The city has invested heavily, nearly $180 million in new fire breaks, evacuation upgrades, and communication systems. These improvements mean current homes are safer than pre-2018 stock. But the reputation lingers. For families, Reading offers affordable outdoor living with an asterisk. Safety depends on preparation, and resale timelines may be longer as buyers weigh risk perception.
3. San Bernardino. San Bernardino is often described as one of California's last affordable frontiers. Median homes sit around $385,000, giving families access to space and mountain views at prices that feel decades behind Los Angeles. But affordability here carries hidden costs. Fire insurance on the FAIR plan can reach $8,400 annually. Earthquake coverage adds nearly $4,000. And defensible space upkeep costs several thousand more. Families who budget only for mortgages quickly discover they've taken on a second housing payment in disaster prep. Yet opportunity exists for those who plan carefully. Logistics hubs, Amazon, FedEx, UPS, are fueling job creation, while the Ontario airport expansion is driving regional growth. Families who retrofit early and lock in insurance often build equity as others shy away. One family spent $25,000 on fire mitigation immediately after purchase. Within 2 years, their appraisal climbed by over $100,000. The key takeaway is that San Bernardino works for buyers who account for risk up front. Those who ignore it often find affordability isn't what it seems. 2. Santa Clarita.
Santa Clarita is known for its master-planned suburbs, award-winning schools, and family-friendly reputation. But history has never let residents forget its original name, La Cañada de los Incendios, the Canyon of Fires. Wildfire corridors here have repeated themselves for centuries. The 1970 Canyon Country Fire burned terrain where neighborhoods stand today, and the 2019 Tick Fire followed almost the exact same path, only faster. Developers built communities in known fire channels, and homeowners now live with both the benefits and the risks.
The market reflects the contradiction. Homes in Santa Clarita average $850,000 plus, pricing out many families. Yet insurance premiums can exceed $12,000 annually, if coverage is even available. Some families choose to spend $30,000 plus on mitigation upgrades, turning risk into reduced premiums and higher property value.
For others, the costs become barriers, and homes linger on the market longer than in other Los Angeles County suburbs. For prepared buyers, Santa Clarita delivers premium schools and amenities. But history proves fires will return. The calculus is whether the benefits outweigh the certainty of higher insurance and ongoing preparation costs.
1. Malibu. Malibu remains one of California's most recognizable addresses, with beachfront mansions, ocean views, and celebrity culture. But it's also one of the clearest examples of how natural disaster risk shapes housing markets at the highest levels. The 2018 Woolsey fire destroyed nearly 500 homes in Malibu, displacing wealthy and working-class families alike. For many, insurance claims stretched over years, and premiums skyrocketed. Today, Malibu homes average around 2.4 million, down from a peak of 3.2 million. The discount looks enticing, but it reflects very real challenges.
Insurance for a Malibu property can run $35,000 to $50,000 annually, when coverage is available at all. Wealthy buyers often install private suppression systems costing over $150,000. But even that doesn't guarantee protection when Santa Ana winds turn the coast into a 21-mile fire corridor with a single escape route.
And yet, demand persists. Malibu's lifestyle, private beaches, networking opportunities, prestige, remains powerful. So for buyers who can absorb insurance costs and invest in mitigation, Malibu offers rare entry points at reduced pricing.
For others, the dream may be unsustainable, as recurring disasters turn ownership into a high-risk financial cycle.
Malibu illustrates perfectly that risk reshapes pricing, insurance, and market behavior, and those who buy here must treat preparation as part of the purchase price.
In conclusion,
California's disaster-prone cities are more than just headline risks. They're markets being reshaped in real time. From Santa Rosa's wine country discounts to Malibu's coastal price drops, each of these communities shows how natural disasters ripple into home prices, insurance costs, and long-term stability.
the numbers are clear. Sellers motivated by fear are accepting lower offers. Buyers willing to budget for mitigation, whether $15,000 in fire upgrades or $3,000 in earthquake retrofits, often end up with safer homes and stronger equity positions than families in so-called safe zones with aging housing stock.
But the warning is just as clear. Preparation isn't optional. Insurance costs can double overnight. Premiums and deductibles may feel like second mortgages. Families who ignore the survival math often discover too late that affordable can turn into unaffordable.
So, here is the balanced takeaway. California's risk markets can be either financial traps or strategic opportunities. It depends entirely on how buyers approach them. Those who run the numbers, plan for mitigation, and think long-term can access lifestyles and locations that once felt impossible. Those who don't inherit the risks without the rewards.
For weekly breakdowns of markets shaped by risk, migration, and opportunity, please subscribe to Move Smarter Global. Because the best decisions don't come from fear, they come from understanding the math behind it.